A very warm welcome to ADA 247, the official YouTube channel of bankers@dynasty.com. Now you very well know we have a very important topic in the examination, that is cloze test. What is it, how is it asked, and what marks does it hold? All this we are going to discuss today. Now we have a terminology that is closet. Closet means something closed inside something. So we have this term closet test. From this only we have cloze test. What does this mean? We'll be given a paragraph. Now this paragraph will hold 5 to 10 blanks, and each blank will have 5 options. All these options will be based on pure vocabulary. Now you need to make your vocabulary power really very strong while solving a cloze test. Now this exercise tests 3 things. What? First that I told you is vocabulary knowledge. Second, your reading speed. And third thing that it tests is reading comprehension. What do you mean by reading comprehension? Now comprehension is a word which means to understand something. Now where you understand and you read fast, along with this you need to make your vocabulary power strong as well. These 3 things will excel you in cloze test. Now let's discuss the strategy. What does the strategy say? First thing that you need to do is make your vocab really strong. Second thing, read the passage without marking the answers. Read the passage in one go without marking the answers. Second thing that you'll do, third thing that you'll do after this is eliminate the words which do not fit the meaning. Now the fourth thing that you need to do is eliminate the word which do not match the tone. Now what do we mean by tone, or why is it important? We have 4 kinds of tone when we talk about cloze test. The first says it could be complaining. Now what do we mean by complaining, and why is it important to know which paragraph is complaining? Second we have is suggestive. Third is critical, and the last is positive. Now why is tone important? Tone is the way of paragraph, the way a paragraph is written, or the way the author wants to portray something. So it could be complaining, suggestive, critical and positive. Now when we talk about tone, it decides what kind of vocabulary should be used in the paragraph. If we have a complaining tone, that simply says if you complain something, you are negating something, that means we will use negative vocabulary. If we are suggesting something, obviously we will use positive vocab. If we are critical about something, that means we are passing some comments as well as the compliments. Then we'll use the positive also, and we'll use the negative vocab as well. While using a positive, that means it will only introduce something, and when we are introducing something, we denote the positive points also and negative points also. So the tone helps you what kind of vocabulary will be used in your passage. Now moving further, we have the 5th point, which says among the remaining options. Now what does the remaining options say? Is you have eliminated the part which do not fit the meaning. You have eliminated the part which do not fit the passage of the tone of the passage. Now you have to eliminate those words which are among from the remaining ones. Now remaining ones, you have to apply your common sense, first thing. Second, you have to apply your nuance knowledge. What does this word mean, nuance? Now nuance means choosing a different and a difficult word. What do we mean by choosing a different word and a difficult word? Suppose we have an option hate given and we have an option abhor. We know that hate and abhor are synonyms to each other, but we will choose abhor. Why? Because this is a nuance. What? This is a difficult vocabulary, and wherever we have a difficult vocabulary, we will be preferring the difficult one. This is called nuance, but there is a condition. It should be grammatically correct. Suppose we have a word believe, we have a word believing. What will we place? We will be placing it according to the grammar used. If we have a helping verb present before the blank, we can use ing form, but if we don't have an helping verb, we won't be using ing form of verb in the middle of the sentence as a verb. So this is how we solve it. Eliminate the words that are do not fit in the meaning of the passage. Eliminate the words that do not fit in the tone of the passage, and then choose from those words, apply your common sense, apply the nuances and the grammar part as well to know the correct option of a blank. Now if we talk about PO examination, you need to focus some points, that is financial part, environmental part, and the last thing is social part. By social part, I mean the agreement signed between two countries or more than two countries. In that case, that will be coming under social part. Apart from this, if you are going for clerk examination, they might give you story-based passages as well. But this will not come in PO examination, so be very careful. While giving a PO examination, you will be asked a passage or a rearrangement or a reading comprehension from financial, environmental or social point. And if you are giving an examination, taking an examination for clerk point of view, then you will be asked as a story base. That's it. Let's take an exercise to solve this. Now here we are with an exercise. I want you to pause this video for a while and note it down, solve it by yourself. This is only a part of this video. We will solve it later on. Now let's discuss this. It says greenhouse gases are only dash of the story when it comes to global warming. It says greenhouse gases are only that means we are talking something related to greenhouse gases. Now I told you need to read it in a one go. Greenhouse gases are only one of the story when it comes to global warming. Changes to one part of the climate system can dash additional changes to the way the planet absorbs or reflects energy. These secondary changes are dash climate feedbacks, and they could more than double the amount of warming caused by carbon dioxide alone. The primary feedbacks are dash to snow and ice, water vapor and clouds. Now let's discuss this. It says greenhouse gases are only dash of the story when it comes to global warming. Now we are discussing something about global warming, and greenhouse gases are playing a dash in the whole story. Now let's move to the options. The whole, if we put whole here, are only whole. Only and whole cannot be put together. If we move further, our only issue of the story, is it the issue? No, we cannot say this is the only reason that's why we are having global warming. So let's move further. It says story. We cannot write story and story together. It doesn't make any sense. Moving further, greenhouse gases are only part of the story when it comes to global warming. It says when we are talking about global warming, greenhouse gas is only playing a part. We will not blame greenhouse gases wholly for global warming. So it's only a part. So the correct option is option number 4. Moving further, changes to one part of the climate system can dash additional changes. It says if there is any change because of global warming in one part of the climate system, there will be additional changes in the other part of the planet. It says it can dash additional change. What can it do? It can raise. Now changes cannot be raised. It can only be caused. Next we have refer. Refer doesn't make any sense here, so it does not fit into the meaning of it. Next is brings. It can bring additional changes. It can be there. Climate system can dash. Then we have caused. Can caused. Can and verb's third part doesn't make any sense here. If we read the sentence, it won't be grammatically correct. Last says cause. It can cause additional changes. I told you changes are only caused when it comes to climatic part or any environmental part. Next says planet absorbs or reflects energy. These secondary changes, now what are we talking about secondary changes? Secondary changes are referring to the part that will be adding additional changes to the climate. These secondary changes are dash climate feedbacks, and they could more than double the amount of warming caused by carbon dioxide alone. What it says, these secondary changes are dash climate feedbacks. What are they? They are climate feedbacks. Now we are naming secondary changes here. Now let's see, sensed. These secondary changes are sensed to be. I said these are named as climate feedbacks here, so sense doesn't fit in here. Next is these are these secondary changes are known climate changes. This can be there. Moving further, these secondary changes are called climate feedbacks, and they could more than double the amount of. Now we have a confusion between know and call. Next we have term. Now if it would have been termed, then it could be the answer. Next is nothing. These secondary changes are nothing climate feedbacks. This doesn't make any sense. So we will eliminate this part. This is not given in third form, that is why we will eliminate this part. Now known is a word which is always preceded by a helping verb that should be in verb's third form, like has, have, had. Now we don't have any word like has, have, had here. So what we are going to place is called. These secondary changes are called climatic feedbacks, and they could more than double the amount of warming caused by carbon dioxide alone. The primary feedbacks are dash to snow and ice, water vapor and clouds. Now here we are referring to the primary feedbacks. Primary feedbacks means the feedback which we were talking about in the beginning of this paragraph. Now the primary feedbacks are dash to snow and ice. If we are talking something here, we know we have a preposition that is to mentioned over here. Now due to, we have a reason over here and we can write due to here. After this we have results into to. Does it make any sense? No. Next we have reason to snow. It's not a reason. It can be a reason, but it is not here. It is not given here. Results to, results and to. It is not a perfect grammatical pair. Next, because doesn't follow to ever. Now we have this word due, and this is the correct option which says due to should be placed in option number 4. Let's move further with the other part of this passage. Now once again I want you to pause this video, note this down, solve it by yourself, and then we'll discuss it. Now let's start with this. It says perhaps the most well-dash feedback comes from melting snow and ice. What comes? Feedback comes from what? Melting of snow and ice in northern hemisphere. Now what comes? Perhaps the most well-dash feedback. It says well done feedback. It doesn't make any sense. The most well-ruled, well-known, well-said, or ambiguous. Ambiguous here means dubious. Or you can say dubious, which has two different meanings. Now here we can apply known, that is perhaps the most well-known feedback, which is very popular feedback, is melting of snow and ice in northern hemisphere. This tells us that global warming is there. Warming temperature are already dash a growing percentage of Arctic sea ice. What is it? Warming temperatures are already, what are they doing? Growing percentage is shown. Warming temperatures are already mastering a growing temperature percentage, melting a growing percentage, as we told you in this also in the earlier point that the melting of snow and ice is there. So the option that will be placed in option number 6, the blank number 6 should be melting, because we have a clue given here. Moving further, exposing dark ocean water during the dash sunlight of summer. Now in summers, what kind of sunlight do we have? Ceasing, absent, trouble, transient, or perpetual. When we talk about summers, we have perpetual sunlight. Perpetual sunlight means which is continuous. Now moving further, snow cover on land is also dash in many areas. What is it? Snow cover on land is also dash in many areas. Let's go to the options. It says dwindling, generating, enhance, manufactured, supplied. Now we are showing something continuous as told in option number 7. Now whatever will be placed in option number 9, that should be what? That should be in continuous sense. Snow cover on land is also dash in many areas. What is it? Is also dwindling. Now dwindling, what does this mean? Now we know that the snow is melting, and when the snow is melting, the water level will increase, and similarly if we talk over here, snow cover on land, what will it happen to it? It will dwindle. Dwindle means to decrease slowly. Now if the snow is melting, that is very much obvious that snow cover will dwindle, that means it will decrease. Moving further, in the dash of snow and ice, these areas go from having bright sunlight reflecting surfaces that cool the planet to having dark sunlight absorbing surfaces that dash more energy into the earth system and cause more warming. It says in the dash of snow and ice, what is it talking about? Progress, absence, presence, existence, reduced existence. If we talk about this, in the dash of snow and ice, in the absence of snow and ice, if we don't have snow and ice on land, what will happen? These areas go from having bright sunlight reflecting surfaces. We have bright sunlight reflecting surfaces, and if the snow and ice melts, what happens? That cool the planet to having dark sunlight absorbing surfaces. Now if the ice and snow will melt, we will having dark sunlight absorbing surfaces that dash more energy. What will it happen? What will happen to the energy? What will happen to the system of the earth? What will happen to the surface of the earth? The dash more energy. What will it do? Repel more energy. If we have absorbing, it cannot repel anything. It will access, it will transit, it will bring or waft. Waft, what does this mean? It means carry, to carry something. Now the perfect word will be bring, that bring more energy into the earth system and cause more warming. It says if the ice melts and the snow cover on land dwindles, in that case it will bring more energy into the earth system, which will increase the temperature of the earth and cause more global warming. So I suppose you like this and you understood it, and you know now you know the way how to solve it. Now if you like the video, do give it a thumbs up, like our Facebook page and subscribe our YouTube channel, that is Adda247. Now you can also download our app, that is Adda247, from Play Store to be up to date. And if you need excellent expertise, you can also join our various branches all over India. Thank you.